going to hand off this kickstart, just like the Seahawks should have done in the Super Bowl.
Should have drank a few of these before the Super Bowl, and then they would have won.
Probably.
Yeah.
Marshawn should have stopped toking up, drank some Kickstart. Shout out to the new Kickstart commercial. We doing a taste test this weekend. Look out for that shit.
Again, this is Two Guys, One Belt.
Two guys in one belt.
Check us out on GetScaredTV. Follow us on Twitter. Join the conversation. We do live tweets during
Monday Night Raw and pay-per-views. Follow us on Vine at Two Guys, One Belt. And like us on Facebook, Two Guys, One Belt.
But now that we're done with the plug party, the first segment of the night was
Triple H making the announcement. Whoa. Swerve.
Let's go ahead and give our rankings for the announcement. I'm going to go ahead and give it 2 big thumbs up.
I'll go 2 thumbs up. Other than the segment lasting a little long, they had a commercial break in between it, which technical difficulties or not.
With the mic. I think it was technical difficulties with the mic. He doesn't, but
it still lasted a little longer than I had hoped. Wish it was a little bit shorter. I think it was like 20, 25 minutes or so.
I still think it got a lot accomplished in that.
Yes,
20,
it did.
25
Absolutely got a lot accomplished. They announced that Roman Reigns' main event opportunity at WrestleMania will be on the line at Fastlane.
Which is pretty cool.
Which is, for the fans that are pissed, it's going to make them happy. His opponent at Fastlane will be determined by the winner of the main event at Raw, which was Daniel Bryan versus Seth Rollins. So a lot accomplished.
Yeah, a lot accomplished. Basically, if you didn't watch, Triple H and Stephanie came out to begin.
Yeah.
And pretty much called Roman out. Roman comes out, had 5 words.
5 words, or 1 sentence.
It's perfect for him.
Which is
not too
much.
We're
fine, yes.
Not terribly too
We're
little.
fine with, and like I said, I think at this point they need to start from scratch with him on the microphone. Yeah. They just need to start from scratch, and that's a great way.
I think we were talking about it earlier, but I think his confidence level might be a little low right now.
Yes.
So that may be one reason why they...
From the crowd reaction,
why did that.
From the people on the internet, people obviously saying some stuff in his ear.
But then Daniel comes out and wants a rematch for his championship because
he said he never lost it.
Technically, he never lost it. He got not stripped of it. I'm pretty sure he gave it away.
Then Seth came out. Obviously, the technical difficulties on the mic. Seth, some very, he was just solid. Didn't really say anything,
Wasn't too over the top.
No, it wasn't too over the top. And I don't think he was trying to be. I think it was almost kind of like, let me just get my heel promo.
Yeah, he didn't make the segment all about him. They roll into
the first match.
The first match.
Take a guess of what the first match was. It's been the same first match the past 10 weeks or something. I don't know.
If you haven't been watching, it's Big Show versus Roman Reigns.
Good God.
Kind of getting old, but we'll give our rankings of this match.
So many weeks in a row, and then obviously
the loss
by Roman Reigns
is really what killed it.
The rumor was, I don't even know if this is officially true, I just heard it, that this was his very first singles loss ever. And maybe if they go a route where he's losing, and to build himself back up, it kind of makes sense. But if you have him lose here, then have him win his next 3 matches before the pay-per-view, it's almost pointless.
Yeah, but you have 3 weeks to do either or.
Yes.
And absolutely. I feel like that's definitely not enough time.
No. Next up, Curtis Axel came out, and he is boycotting the Royal Rumble.
He decided to boycott it, but then he said that he should be main eventing it, which I'm going to give him credit because
He never lost.
He never lost.
He never entered.
Technically, he was the longest and still hasn't been eliminated from the Royal Rumble.
8 days.
No, we're going on 9 days now.
9 days, and Curtis Axel is yet to be eliminated from the Royal Rumble.
That has to be some sort of Guinness Book of World Records. After he cut his mic promo, gets on the edge of the ring and points at the sign. just so perfect.
Everything Curtis Axel did this tonight might have been the best thing he's ever done. It was just entertaining. Like I said, whether or not they do anything after this with him, I don't care. It was hilarious. But Dirty Deeds Dean Ambrose came out, beat up on Curtis Axel a little bit, then got on the microphone and issued a challenge. A challenge to the Intercontinental Champion, Bad News Barrett.
B&B.
What do you think about that challenge? What do you think about that feud that's obviously going to be happening now?
I think it'll be a good feud. I think those guys will do well. It's still not my choice for Dean. My choice for Dean would be to continue the feud with Rusev,
which I would have loved.
And
they just had that one match, and that was it. Now, I will say this. Ever since Bad News Bears returned, they really haven't built him up very well. But if they can build him up the next few weeks going into the pay-per-view, then we're going to be talking about a big-time Intercontinental Championship match. Big time. Next up, the Ascension versus Gold and Stardust. Ratings on the match?
Thumb up, thumb down.
I'm going to go thumb out and a half.
Reason I think it's a thumb up for at least one part is the Ascension beat Stardust and Goldust, which leads to them arguing.
Yes.
Which is leading up to the split.
They had a nice big, they were arguing in the ring, and then they had this great shot of like Goldust looking real sad and like Stardust just walking away from it. It was a great shot.
And then they had the backstage segment, which was good.
Which was great. Yes, it was great. Goldust comes walking up. Stardust is like talking to himself, being weird Stardust, and Goldust is like Stardust, Cody. And Cody,
then what?
And then Cody's, do not call me Cody, and walked away.
While we were watching it, we were just like, didn't see that one coming.
We were compelled. This is something like the other tag team mid-card feud that's happening, which we'll talk about later. This is a compelling, good storytelling mid-card guys. Then we go on to a mic segment, which was very boring, in my opinion. The John Cena Mike segment. He comes back to welcome Rowan, Ryback, and Ziggler to Raw, which was 2 weeks ago that this happened, but this is their first Raw appearance since their comeback, I guess.
I just felt like, just leave it behind, leave it in the dust. Why keep bringing it back?
Why did this need to happen? The only thing this led up to was Stephanie getting on the Titantron, and she announced that Ziggler, Rowan, and Ryback will be in action tonight. Ryback's action was first, yes, which was against Luke Harper. This segment,
he faced the greatest wrestler of all time in Luke Harper.
I mean, Kofi Kingston would beat the crap out of Luke Harper, so I don't know what you're even talking about. On a serious note, I want to rate the Ryback-Luke Harper match.
I'm going to go thumbs up and a half.
I'm going to go thumbs up and a half as well. Like I said, for a Raw match, you don't want to go too over the top. You don't want to give away too much. This is a very good, solid Raw match.
Yeah, I mean, usually when two big guys fight each other, it's kind of boring and slow. But these guys had high energy. It was fast-paced. And, man, Luke Harper sold the shit out of some clotheslines.
Dude, Luke Harper,
everything.
I think in terms of big guys, whatever you define as a big guy, he is probably the best in the ring as a big guy. You can tell that they're probably really good friends backstage because they clicked together. They were doing things right. Not one botch tonight, which for Ryback, I'm not trying to stump Ryback or make this even sound goofy. Him not having a botch and him having a solid, straight match was good for him, and the crowd was all about him tonight. Feed Me More chants were going great in Denver.
And the good thing is he didn't ruin anybody's career by throwing him through the table. But I still think that was probably one of the better matches of the night.
Yes. Guess who's on the Collector's Cup?
Phillip Brooks on the Collector's Cup.
2011. And
Alberto Del Rio.
Who else is fired that's on there?
Brock Lesnar's kind of fired, but he's on the bottom.
He's on the UFC.
AJ Lee, she's on it.
Who's that guy with the red mask?
I don't know. I heard he's some sort of demon. He's kind of like a sellout, though.
I don't know a demon. I know a corporate demon. So the next match we go into was Cesaro versus Jimmy Uso, continuing the Uso-Tyson Kidd-Cesaro feud. Cesaro,
give our rankings real quick?
Without a doubt, yeah. I think it's a thumbs up, thumbs down.
I'm gonna go 2 thumbs down.
Woo!
Because Cesaro just sucks ass. That guy is literally the worst wrestler I've ever seen in my life.
I love it how the Royal Rumble Challenge is only affecting him because none of the guys I have is appearing right now. Maybe Cesaro was the bunny the whole time.
I wouldn't put it past him.
Twist, swerve! So Cesaro wins. Jimmy Uso, Tyson Kidd beat Jey Uso last Thursday on SmackDown. So
does that make them #1 contenders for the belt, you think?
I think it does, but I don't think they're going to justify it storyline-wise until they maybe have a non-title tag team match. At this point in time, I'm not really into this feud. I honestly
agree with that.
I don't mind the Usos, and I do like Tyson Kidd and Cesaro, but this feud is just kind of...
I just hate Cesaro so much.
But if they have a good match, which I think they could, at Fastlane for the belts, if they have a really good match, then you're going to get some people that are going to start enjoying it and get invested into it.
But you already have a top 4 tag teams right now, and 2 of those 4 are going to break up.
On to the next segment. One of those announced matches by Stephanie McMahon. It was Dolph Ziggler versus Bray Wyatt, the IWC match of the night. Give out a rating for it?
I'm going to go up and a half.
I'm going to go 2 thumbs up. It was a like I said, for a Raw match, you're not supposed to go over the top. You're not supposed to do too much. Great. I think it was a great Raw match. It had a right time. It was the 10 o'clock main event. Yeah. Crowd was loving it. Crowd was split right down the middle. Some were chanting for Wyatt. Some were chanting for Ziggler.
That was probably the coolest part of the whole match.
Yes,
was
the crowd
split.
was getting really into it.
Yeah, I mean, you can even compare the crowd's reactions to John Cena, Brock Lesnar.
These are two just really solid guys. I mean, it's tough to you can even ask any kind of demographic in the WWE universe, and they will not only have an opinion on one of the guys, they like one of them or both of them.
Yeah.
His backstage promo that he had, it was after the match, still in his whole get-up with his ring gear and everything like that. It was a great setting.
Yeah, it had to be right after he did the matches when he filmed it.
Like I said, perfect setting to have what possibly could have been his first promo on The Undertaker.
Now, we're in talks about if it's Undertaker or Chris Jericho, because technically it could be either from what he said. But if I had to do percentage-wise, I'd say 75% chance that it's about Taker and 25% chance it's about Chris Jericho.
Obviously, we don't know what goes on backstage. And even some of the real higher-up peoples probably don't even know. Is Undertaker actually going to come back for this year's WrestleMania? Yeah. Do they know already? I think at this point, if they have him try to hit this kind of cutting the promo on Undertaker, I think he might be coming back. But maybe they're just doing this for...
if you don't know, you just scratch the whole idea.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So if they don't know, they're just like, well, then we're not going to go with it until we know. So it looks like it's Bray Wyatt versus The Undertaker. Now, I have my opinions on that. And going up into WrestleMania, I'll be talking about the whole Bray Wyatt-Undertaker feud.
I feel like we should cut a whole 5 to 10 minute video about that,
because I think...
So be on the lookout for that. We might do that this weekend in Madison.
Next up, we got a Divas match. Holy cow.
Oh, if you don't know what's happening right now, he's staring at Paige because... I don't really know why, but every time she's like on his screen, he goes to the bathroom for like 30 seconds and then comes back out. So,
what were you saying about bathroom? I don't know what point he was making. I couldn't even hear him.
All right, and it was Paige versus Alicia Fox, and Nikki and Brie were on commentary. I don't know if Nikki was going for the Kim K look, but
she looked exactly like Kim
Kardashian.
It was kind of funny. After the match was actually, storyline-wise, was the best part.
Yes.
Alicia kind of did like this awesome thing where she grabbed her arms and put up her feet to arch her back, and they took out this it looked like a spray paint. Then they're like, oh, a spray tan bottle, and they sprayed her, and then they showed it, and it was just
like black.
It was just pure black.
So were they gonna write NWO and just messed it up?
So next up, we got The Miz versus Sin Cara. Earlier on in the night.
This was a pretty cool segment.
We had The Miz and Mizdow do a backstage thing. Some guy came up to both of them, was like, hey, can I get her autograph? And Miz like, no, not right now. No, I was talking about Mizdow. Then Miz fires Fire Mizdow as his stunt double. But
he didn't even apply for this job and he gets it. He becomes the assistant.
He becomes Miz's assistant.
Personal assistant. But the cool part about this match is instead of doing all the crazy stuff outside the ring like he usually does, he just stood there. And the best part was you could tell he was antsy. He was like moving his hands and stuff like that.
It was just played so perfectly. The crowd was loving it. He wasn't even doing anything tonight, and the crowd loved it.
I'm going to give credit to Miz.
Yes.
He deserves credit for that because 90% of the time he was still doing his moves, but 90% of the time he was staring,
like looking at him, and then like would go over the ring. Stop doing it. And it was just like, it's great heat on the Miz, and it's a great reaction for Sandow.
Breakup of them is gonna not necessarily have an opposite effect, but it's gonna be different than the Stardust Goldust breakup.
And we could
because we'll cut this video.
We could have an argument about that. Next up, we had Rusev versus Eric Rowan. Now the match didn't even start, so technically it wasn't even really a match. It was just a beat up segment.
Yeah, it was pretty boring.
It was kind of boring.
I'm gonna give it 2 thumbs down.
I'm gonna go 2 thumbs down.
I'll do a half and a down.
Only because
of the botch with the flag.
Now, whether or not it was planned or not, they pulled it off pretty damn well. The crowd loved it. They were laughing. They were enjoying themselves. Real big thing they announced was that the Rusev versus John Cena match. They announced it last week. It was going to be at Fastlane.
Title match.
They announced it was going to be for the United States Championship.
Which is big news, but not great news.
Like I said, I'm on the fence about it because I want to know what they're going to do with it. We'll segue into the main event, which was Daniel Bryan versus Seth Rollins. The best built main event Raw has had in a long time.
Yes.
Long time. One-on-one, a match that people want to see, Daniel Bryan versus Seth Rollins. They built it up from the very first segment of the night. It had not only Fastlane implication, it had WrestleMania implications.
And I think having that build up on the first technical Monday back from a pay-per-view,
great,
huge.
Let's
go ahead and give our rankings real quick.
I'm gonna go 2 thumbs up.
No, I'm gonna go up and a half.
The one thing I will say is the whole involvement with the Big Show. It ended up Roman coming out and giving out a hellacious spear.
I rewatched it, and it wasn't as far away as we thought. I think that's why it was so hard. Because if he would have taken off about 2 feet in front of where he actually took off, it would have been just like a normal spear. But he took off late and he just drilled.
It was one of the craziest spears we've ever seen. Great ending to a Raw.
Having Roman help Daniel, I know he technically hates Seth and all this stuff, but does that have any effect, or is it just there?
And I think that's where they can go with this story. I think the more involvements you get with just Daniel and Roman, people are going to watch and people are going to be entertained. Even the people that hated and smashed on the Royal Rumble will enjoy the interactions between Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns. The redemption, I guess, if you will, from Royal Rumble announcing that match at Fastlane. Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns, winner faces Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
How do you think that is affecting the negativity that the Royal Rumble got? Are people going to be happy now? Are people going to start resubscribing to the network? What's going on?
I think it's going to make people happy, but the biggest problem I have with it is it kind of has the WWE admitting that they think they kind of messed up.
But the makeup for the Royal Rumble, there's still more work to be done in my personal opinion. But tonight was a great set-off from making fans happy and giving them what they want. Yeah. Daniel Bryan versus Seth Rollins, the main event of Raw, is what the people that were at least complaining, they want matches like that.
Yeah,
Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns at Fastlane, for the people that were bitching, those are the matches they want to see.
I definitely agree with you that they have some more fixing to do, but I don't know if we can actually judge if it's fixed until after the Fastlane pay-per-view.
Yes, without a doubt. Next up, we're going to be talking about the podcast, right? We're going to have a quick video on the podcast.
Yeah, we'll have a quick video on the podcast. So we have the podcast coming up. We have the Mountain Dew Kickstart Taste Test coming up.
Royal Rumble Challenge video is going to be first on the list. We're getting that out.
That one should have been up, but somebody slacked.
I think we're going to start doing more commentaries where we're going to start talking about maybe more specific things. Yep. 2 guys and 1 belt.
Give me 2 claps and a Ric Flair.
Woo!